It's Monday, and you know what that means. It's time for another unboxing with PNIC's Handhelds. And this week, I have the K56. And I'm sure you're asking, but hey, PNIC, is that the KinHank K56? Yes and no. Or you're asking, hey, PNIC, is that the Helegaly Pocket K56? Yes and no. How is that possible? Well, let's find out right after this. Hey fam, Swati Konkrak, PNIC here. And before we get started, I want to thank you again for joining me for another episode of PNIC's Handhelds. I know I'm still a relatively new YouTube channel, and I'm growing slowly but surely, and I appreciate all of you for helping me slowly but surely grow. So as I alluded to in this earlier opening intro, this is the K56. But Helegaly sells the Pocket K56 that looks just like this for some reason, right? And if you go on AliExpress, you'll see KinHank selling the K56 listed under their name, looking exactly like this. But how is that possible? This is a rebranding. It's actually made by a company called Guangzhou Sundigame Electronics Corporation Limited. I'll have their name up on the screen right now. They actually made this device. So if you're not familiar with rebranding, for example, if you're an Aussie and you remember the Holden Commodore, that was actually sold in the US as the Chevy SS. And for you Americans, if you remember the Chevy Malibu, that was actually sold in Australia as the Holden Malibu. Likewise, China had the Opel brand that they sold in many places around the world, but not the US. So when they sold the Opel Insignia, they brought it to the US as the Buick Regal. So likewise, you can have that where it's the same manufacturer, they're just rebranding it as something different in different markets. Or you could have something like where Foxconn makes the Apple iPhones and many other companies' phones as well, but then they just simply put the other companies' brands on it. They're just the manufacturer, but those companies like Apple actually give them the specifications for the device. So this is where Guangzhou Sundigame Electronics is the actual company that designed this device from the ground up, and then they sold it to other companies that were willing to either sell it as is. Some may have even just taken off the sleeve and put on their own sleeve, or some would have taken off all of the boxing and redid it themselves. Either way, it's going to be the same device at its core because they don't have any input on the device itself. They just buy it directly from Guangzhou Sundi. So I wanted to bring this to your attention because some places you can buy this for $200 US dollars. Some places you can buy it for $130 to $140 US. Where I bought it, the storefront on AliExpress, is another one of those companies, but they sold it to me for under $100 US dollars. So again, I want to be able to find you guys the best deals possible because that's what I created this channel for, is people to buy devices that they like by being able to make an informed decision. And the best way I can help you make an informed decision is teaching you about something like this, where it's a rebadged device that is any number of devices the exact same. So I don't want you to feel like you have to buy it from the big name, even though, of course, I'm sure they would love it if I told you to buy it from them. But my job is to give you the best deal possible. So I will include a link to where I bought it on AliExpress for under $100 US dollars. So let's get into this unboxing before I jibber jabber on all day. So as you can see here, their little slogan, reliving childhood memories. Let's be honest, that's why most of us get into retro handhelds. So that's really awesome. You can see that it's a 5.5-inch screen. Has nice ergonomic bumps on the back here. Handheld game console, play anytime, anywhere. That's awesome. What do we have back here? So we have an example of it in white with its orange buttons, which if we take a look at the specs here, it comes with a T620 made by Unisoc, and it comes with a GPU that is the Mali-G57. Comes with 6 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of internal storage. You get your choice of black, which is on the front, blue, and white. All right, so, gives you your general warnings. You can see the black one here on the front with its orange buttons. All right, so let's take a look. Let's lift off the lid for the first time on the K56. Okay, well, nothing too exciting here. We have our partially opaque bag with foam protector. At least they're protecting the device. Makes it nice to have that protected. Okay, it's inside of a clear tray. Interesting. Okay, so they're matching our recently reviewed MiU Flip by giving us a micro SD to USB-A port adapter. And it's great that we get these adapters because, again, not every computer nowadays comes with a micro SD or a full-size SD card slot. So it's nice that we have that included. Appreciate that they give that to us. And handy dandy orange on the inside USB-A to USB-C charging cable. Doesn't look too long, but not too short. Okay, some black and white manual here. Pulls out. Looks like it's in English and English. So 100% in English. Interesting. All right, so K56, game system instructions. Like say you may see a company that rebadges this device as their own, and maybe they'll redo this manual in color or something, but again, it's still the same device. Just depends on the links they want to do to personalize it. Of course, we get some wipes. Is it actual tempered glass or plastic? Let's find out. Actual tempered glass, not bad. All right, so not bad. Again, for mine being under $100 US, that's pretty good. I know some of you may have bought it from KinHank or may have bought it from Helegaly for much more, but that's okay. It's still a good device as far as I can tell. We'll find out with a week's worth of usage, but now you know. All right, so let's take it out of its nice little sleeve here. Nice little protector. Okay, good. Okay, so you can see I went with this blue one because I wanted contrast for you guys, and I think it really contrasts the orange buttons pretty well here. Okay, bit clicky, very clicky. Sticks have an okay range of motion. They are definitely switch style. Also clicky. Click and clack, click and clack. Oddly, the triggers L2 and R2 are the quietest. You can see we have a little exhaust here with the intake here. All right, so this has Android 14 built on it, and it does come with 2 front ends built into it to help people that are not familiar with gaming at least have their front ends already established for them. And if we look here, we have home. Let me get this so it's zoomed in here. Home, back, select, and start. Up here we have volume up and down. Let me see if I can get it to focus. There we go. And the power button. And down here, you can see it does come with a micro SD card slot, and that already has its micro SD card in it. So it'll be interesting to see if I have games included with it or not, because most devices that are Android-based do not come with games. A 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and then your charging USB-C port. All right. So it automatically assumes that I'm from the US. Here, let's tap the screen so it can hopefully focus here. There we go. Not too bad. Can I choose other places, other languages? Yes, there are quite a few. And let's see here. There is Thai, which is great for my Thai viewers because I am based in Thailand. Even though I'm Canadian, I'm based in Thailand, so it's good to see we have that. Looks like we have Korean. Those are the easiest ones for me to differentiate. Looks like we also have Burmese. So there's a good selection of languages. There's Arabic, and looks like Russian, Turkish, Vietnamese, Portuguese or Portuguese, Dutch, Italiano, Indonesian, Francais, Filipino. Let's just go with English. And then you can choose your English locations. So we'll say English Canada. There we go. Start. All right. So let's see. Do we get 5G Wi-Fi or just, yep, we get 5G Wi-Fi. So let me log into that and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And it does have haptic feedback. Could feel it as I was typing away. And I like it getting my phone ready. Well, thank you for getting my phone ready. Very interesting looking phone. Says I have a slow internet connection. Let me just try a different one. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Giving this one a try. Let's see if it recognizes this speed any better than the last one. See, I start off with 60% battery life. And I have to say there are some nice chunky little ergonomic grips back here. Let me know, what do you think of this color? Comment section below. Blue with orange with black sticks. Definitely some strong contrast there. You know I'm a fan of good contrast, so I'm not complaining about it in the slightest bit in that regard. So this is going to take a few minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, all is going well so far. As you can see now, it's asking me to sign into my Google account, so I'll do that, sign that into my PNix account. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Beautiful. I have to admit, I like that they've given us some different aesthetics here. Let me see if I can't bring this up to let you see here. There's some little visual appeal to it. It's not just a blank slab, and I appreciate that. We have more than just a blank slab from the guys over at Guangzhou Sundi. Okay, there we go. Sure, sure. What do we got? Sure, let's go ahead and do that. Ah, sure, you can back it up. Why not? This is my account that's only for replying to viewers and for signing up for handhelds. Let's see here. I'm going to skip pin. No, I think that's good. Let's take a look. Getting my phone ready yet again. Thank you for getting my quote unquote phone ready. There's that famous Android chime. 220, and it is actually 220. All right. So you can see this actually does come loaded with Emulation Station Desktop Edition, ESDE, and Pegasus, two of the most common front ends. And I appreciate that we get that out of the box. I know ESDE, I don't know if they've partnered with Guangzhou or if Guangzhou took it without their permission. That's the one caveat. The reason being is you have to subscribe to their Patreon at least one time for $5 US, I believe it is, to be able to have Emulation Station Desktop Edition. So I've paid for that, so I'll probably delete it and reinstall it. And I believe you can get Pegasus off of the Play Store, so there you go. One of the beauties of having a Android device, of course, is that you'll have things like YouTube and the Play Store on it. They have their emulators already established here, Google Apps, everything already kind of done there. Steam Link, Moonlight, Mantis Game Pro, YouTube Music. So they've already, Daijisho, so that's another front end. So they've already given us quite a bit. Do we get a slide from the bottom app drawer? I don't know. Let's take a look here. Usually, could be under here. Home, settings, let's see here. Home screen with app drawer. There we go. I don't know about you, but I always prefer an app drawer. So there we go. So now we can go back home, and now I should get an app drawer if I can figure out how to do it. And there we go. There's my app drawer. All right, perfect. Let's load Emulation Station Desktop Edition for the first time. Okay, it will begin setup. All right, well, yes, you do that. Let's see here. Already granted. ESDE. Sure, you can use that one. We can always change it in the future. Select directory. There's nothing in this one, probably on the micro SD card. Let's see here. Yep, use this one. And let me see if I can't go back here. I want to put it onto the disk. There we go. Use this folder. Yes. And ROMs. Again, let's change it to micro SD. ROMs. Use this folder. Allow it. Now, if this was a brand new micro SD card, you could have them create the folders for you and then take it out, put it in your computer. But I think their stuff may be already on here, so we're going to skip that. Yep, I understand. Got it. Let's see here. Got it. The nice thing is recent updates to Emulation Station Desktop Edition, ESDE, make it where it can be a functional full-on launcher for your device, so you can make it where it automatically loads every time on this. So let's see if there's anything on here. It's taking a little bit to load. Just going back over the specs again, there is 6 gigabytes of RAM, which I know for a phone is so-so, but remember for an Android-based emulation device, you don't need that much unless you're trying to play higher-end games. But with the Unisoc T620, you're looking at PS1, PSP games pretty solidly. But anything more than that, you're going to be at 10, 15 frames per second, maybe 20 frames per second for PS2 or GameCube. So not exactly the most ideal version to do that. So we're just letting it load all of its systems here. Usually it doesn't take this long, but again, maybe either there's a lot already there or there's nothing there and it's taking longer because it's like, hey, I thought you said there was something here. We'll find out in just a moment. There we go. Sorry about the glare on the screen there. But like I said, I like the little flourishes on the device, even though they don't add anything to the functionality of it. I just like being able to have that kind of unique look to it, you know? Give eye candy while I'm waiting for something to load on my device. Give me something to look at rather than a clean slab of plastic. All right. So the nice thing about Emulation Station Desktop Edition is you can change how things look and how things function. So it starts with A here being your enter button and B your back button, but you can switch it so B is your enter button and A is your back button if that's what you prefer, which is what I do because I grew up with PlayStation. So I'll probably be changing it to that. You can change your background on this. Let's take a look here. Links. Yep, so you can see we have some box art already scraped for a lot of these games. So to answer the question, yes, it does come with a lot of games. If you're curious, if you're new to emulation, Capcom 1, 2, and 3, this is Capcom got their claim to fame not from making games for game consoles, but for arcade machines. So those are arcade ROMs. ColecoVision, Commodore. So looks like, okay, they're telling us how many games are down here. I just noticed that. So you can see MSX2 has 119, MSX 174. So that's a good trivia question for a lot of people that may not know. If you ask what was Microsoft's first game console, it wasn't the Xbox, it was the MSX. Name another arcade system. 264 Nintendo 64 games. There's quite a few on here. 885 NES games. 2005 Super Nintendo, and it says Super Nintendo hack. So I guess they've hacked some games as well to work on PlayStation 2. The Famicom Disk System, which was a add-on to the original Nintendo, but the Nintendo in Japan, not in North America. Family Computer, Game Boy Advance 1007, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Famicom or Super Famicom. Okay, so interesting. Then they also have Super Nintendo. And then they have the hacked one. I'll have to check out what those are. Famicom, Super Famicom is the Super Nintendo, but in Japan. Virtual Boy. True story, actually. Now that I think about it, I previously had said the PlayStation was my first game console ever. The Virtual Boy was actually my first game console. Shout out to my dad and Linda for getting me a Virtual Boy back in the day. 23 Dreamcast games. Let's see here. SG-1000. Says lots of game consoles. There we go. 19 PlayStation games. 222 PSP minis. 60 PSP games. So that's where it kind of ends, which makes sense. Let's see. They show Metal Gear Solid, my favorite game franchise of all time. Let's see. Do we actually get Metal Gear Solid? And is there any rhyme or reason to how it's all shown up here? Definitely a lot of clicking and clacking going on. Casper. Well, I love that. Doesn't look like it, which is a shame that they have the logo there. Let's see here. Oh, I didn't mean to close it like that. Okay. So UI settings, there you go. So one of the nice things is with ESDE, you get a lot of different themes. So with this, you can actually download various themes and make it look completely different. So if you like how this looks, absolutely fantastic. You're in luck. Came with a way that you like how it looks. But I like another way as well. And it might take a second here to load, but I like to be able to show you guys some things that I don't normally show you. So that's one of the things I want to try to show you more here in my unboxings is the various things that you can do with your devices. Seems as if not running. Okay. All right. So you can see here. Let me just make sure you can actually see. Good. Kind of make sure. One of the ones that a lot of people love, including myself, is Artbook Next. This one here. We'll go ahead and select that. And then one of the nice things is not only can you get Artbook Next, but then there's going to be different ones. So you can see there's different color schemes, different font sizes, different aspect ratios, 14 different variants. So this is a very feature-packed theme. Not every theme is going to come with that, but you'll see these different ones. But see, it's not pre-installed, so we'll go ahead and download that with my slow Wi-Fi connection up here in the office. There we go. Now it's speeding along. And let me know down in the comment section below as well. Is this something you like where I actually kind of break down something a little extra like the inner workings of Emulation Station Desktop Edition on these unboxings? Would you rather me take a whole section of like the customizability section and go over this in more detail during the review? Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, I didn't point it out to you, so I might as well point it out to you here. You do have stereo speakers downward firing. All right, so we have Artbook Next now downloaded. So let's see here. B to close. Or let's see. Okay, now it's lagging out on me. Figure start. Created by Ant. Appreciate you, Ant, creating a great one that a lot of different handhelds have used over the years. Okay, so then we can come back here. And then you can say, okay, I want to go to Artbook Next. And I want meta and box art. Meta and a box art plus something else. And do you want a dark theme or dark light theme for your stuff? Display clock. If you want it to show your clock, you can have it show your clock. Again, I love how customizable ESD is, which is why it's my favorite. And it's also probably the easiest to use. So you can see this one really changed it to be really simple. And if that's how you like it, that's great. So that's one of the things is if you're giving this as a gift to somebody that's not that familiar with tech, maybe this would be less overwhelming for them. So you could definitely do that. Let's just try that one. See what that one looks like. Okay, similar. Dark noir. Okay. And you can change your audio drivers, change if you're playing music in the background. Let's just try linear since we weren't on linear before. As a different theme. There we go. So again, if maybe you want to see what the controllers look like for each console, maybe you didn't know that's the Atari Jaguar, what their controller looked like. Yes, they had a number pad on their controller. Quite the interesting controller. So you have all of these options. I'll be playing around with it for the next week. And there's the Wonder Swan and the Wonder Swan color. Again, kind of interesting looking device if you look at it. It looks like two D-pads and like an A and B type situation. So definitely something that is quite interesting. And look, it came out in 2000. The Wonder Swan color came in 2000. And the Wonder Swan black and white, that looks like a Game Boy, came out in 1999. So all that's pretty cool. And up here is where the games count is now. So like I say, I'll play around with it for the next week. And I'll let you guys know on Friday what I find of it. So far, it feels kind of good in the hand. I like, again, the ergonomic grips, kind of like the AYN Odin 2 Portal, as well as some other devices. This feels almost more like a digital trigger. It feels like a Nintendo Switch style. It doesn't feel like you have any real travel to it, which could be a trouble for racing games. But again, I'll test that out and let you know. And until next time, this has been P-Nick.